I'm a little late in posting this because I have actually a lot of videos waiting to be posted. I figured now was about time. I am going to talk about books that I read in September. So September was the beginning of a little reading slump that I've been in for a couple of weeks now, which sucks, but that's life. Sometimes you just don't want to read. So I've been playing a lot of video games and hanging out and enjoying my free time. Before the slump really hit, I read about 6 books. 4 of them were graphic novels, 2 of them were novels, but the one of the novels that I read, I really took my time with, and I think that was important for me. So I'm glad that I did that. I think I say that a lot now. Basically, I think that it has occurred to me that I need to take my time with books, especially things that are considered literary fiction, just so that I can give them the attention I think they deserve. So a couple of months ago, I read the first, second, and third Scott Pilgrim graphic novels, and I really enjoyed them. I love the Scott Pilgrim movie. I was really sad when they decided not to do another Scott Pilgrim film because it was so cool and innovative and just really all around my type of humor. Sadly, that didn't happen. So I'm glad that I had the graphic novels that I could read. I like them pretty well. I do think that Scott is a total jerk, and that was something that I kind of struggled with throughout the series because he was so funny at times, but other times he was just a horrible person, and I don't know, I think that's the point, but it's still not easy. So anyway, I read the last four Scott Pilgrim books, and they were great, and I think I like to read them in color, which I think means I have to buy them, but whatevs. After I read the Scott Pilgrims, I finally finished The Green Road by Anne Enright, which was one of the Man Booker Longlist nominees, and it was really interesting because at first I thought it was a little bit slow, a little bit not so much something I was into, but it was the chapter that talked about Dan's life in New York City and kind of things that he experienced in his early years, and that's when suddenly I couldn't put the book down. I have seen some criticism of this book that it isn't that great, but I really loved it. I think I would definitely recommend reading it in hardback or paperback, obviously, just physical, because I know that Max from Weldon Books said he didn't really like it and he listened to the audiobook, so maybe avoid the audiobook. I'm hoping to have a review on that soon. And just as a side note, I have, like I said, several videos waiting to be posted and like 10 different reviews to film and post. So I have a lot coming up. Just keep your eyes peeled for it. The last book that I finished last month was Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson, which is a memoir of her childhood and kind of like coming of age. Jeanette Winterson has a really magical way of writing and describing people and things, and she had a really interesting upbringing. She was adopted by this Pentecostal couple, and she was kind of like raised to be extremely religious, and then kind of found herself rebelling against that in her teenage years. And it is quite a bit focused around the fact that she was kind of figuring out who she was and learning about her own sexuality in those years. So that's really what it talks about, is her realizing that she's attracted to women and having relationships with women. So yeah, pretty great. Once again, I hope to film a review of that soon, so I'll talk more about that when I do. I started Lila Lalami's The Moors Account, which I was really excited about. I have not finished it yet, but I don't know even why I haven't read it. I would definitely like to keep reading that. I also started Retribution Falls by Chris Whitting, and I think I mentioned this before. I've been enjoying it. It's all right. I don't love it yet, though. Maybe we'll get there, but it's just not been doing it for me. Like, I'm thinking about picking up some Harry Potter or something else, something comforting, just to get me through this, whatever this is. I have a lot of library books that I'd like to read. Luckily, I have until December to read them, so that's cool. Academic libraries. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that was everything that I read last month. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you liked them, if you hated them, if you have any recommendations, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.